Hyrule Warriors isn't a traditional Legend of Zelda style adventure, but it manages to work well as a Zelda-themed power trip. This all-action spin-off ditches the traditional dungeons and puzzles in favor of big Dynasty Warriors style battles. But the layers of Zelda fan service manage to keep my attention for its 10-hour adventure. Aside from its basic but entertaining fan service story that ties all of the Zelda games together with an interdimensional crossover, Hyrule Warriors is all about fighting. The process of killing your way through enemy armies is mostly simple and repetitive. What keeps it from getting too boring too fast are the devastating special attacks that launch enemies into the air, like this. It's pretty satisfying. It should be noted that few enemies on these vast battlefields ever stood toe-to-toe with me for more than a few seconds. But as with the Dynasty Warriors games, that's the point. You play the role of a hero with the power to single-handedly turn the tide of a conflict between lesser soldiers. It genuinely feels great to be stronger than 80% of the enemies on screen, and to watch the battle change based on which skirmishes you choose to fight. Whether capturing enemy bases or fighting tougher mid-bosses, I always felt like there was something I needed to do or needed to slay, even if the actual act of slaying is pretty much the same time and time again. The other big thing Hyrule Warriors has going for it is its diverse playable roster of 13 familiar Zelda characters, each character with unique weapons and abilities. A heavy hitter like Ocarina of Time's Darunia swings a mighty hammer to crush foes on the field. Sheik, on the other hand, uses a mix of quick strikes and a harp with elemental properties. Unlocking and switching between characters keeps the action interesting a little longer. Some surprising depth materializes out of the crafting system, but you have to dig for it a little. By replaying stages and farming materials, I could build useful equipment to augment character combos, weapons, and special abilities. It's handy that you can spend rupees to level up weaker characters, because I felt encouraged to experiment without needing to grind each one for experience. Boss monsters are the main area of Hyrule Warriors fan service fueled trip that doesn't translate well to Dynasty Warriors framework. They do offer an impressive bit of scale, and in line with the Zelda series, each boss has an exploitable weakness. But these oversized foes feel like weak homages to their Zelda inspiration. In the Zelda series, a big part of the epic boss fight design is their smart map design that requires situational awareness. Dropped into an open battlefield of Hyrule Warriors, they come across as generic damage sponges. Overall, Hyrule Warriors isn't much of a challenge, and even turning up the difficulty doesn't do anything for it. On higher settings, the average mini-boss just inflicts more damage and requires double the hits to vanquish. But that doesn't change up his attack pattern, making it a monotonous chore to finish one off. After I completed the campaign, I got a few hours of entertainment out of the clever adventure mode. It repurposes a detailed recreation of the original Legend of Zelda's map for a clever item hunt. Since completing missions in either mode will unlock more secret characters, weapons, and styles of combat to enjoy, it gave me a good reason to stick with Hyrule Warriors a little longer. However, the local-only multiplayer mode is a huge disappointment because of very noticeable performance problems. Extending the view to the gamepad means the resolution takes an awful hit, creating jaggy visuals that would look at home on Wii. Even so, things intermittently slow down a lot when lots of enemies join the mix. Surprisingly, Hyrule Warriors does a good job of tying together the combat of Dynasty Warriors and the revered characters and lore of the Legend of Zelda series in a way that makes me feel powerful in a world I love. Character customization adds unique flavor to the simple combat, and the satisfying weapons, rewards, and story make it a fun alternative to the typically serious Zelda games. It's just a shame you can't share the action with a friend without significant slowdown. For more Hyrule Warriors coverage, you're already in the right place, IGN.